Guys, welcome back for another big episode of Life Off-Road.
The waterway is still classed as public land.
We're back this week at the Central West 4-wheel drive park.
And we've got something very special in store for you.
This is what happens when you take a Holden out with a Chinese car.
We've got a 12-kilometre off-road run. We're going to end up at a pub for
beer.
food.
I didn't think Prado was making it.
Let's go!
Guys, welcome to Life Off-Road.
Let's go, come on.
Today is all about this really cool 12-kilometre track that leads us pretty much directly
To the pub.
At the pub.
To the pub.
To the pub. How good is that?
Everyone hyped up this pub. And guess what? I'm here now, seated, having my ginger beer, but wow, what a mission it was to get here.
The park owner Jamie has given us an amazing track to take through an amazing scenic route that has a bunch of hills, creek crossings, wild animals, all sorts of stuff that we're going to get to see, all the way through to the Gold Fleece pub. But before that, we'll do some warm-up hills.
Hey, we're on private property. You know what that means? You can have a drop with consideration. Can I have a drop? Come on. Front lock is in, so it's going to be a bit hard to steer. Just keep nice, steady acceleration.
So we had a little bit of free time this morning, and being on private property, I thought it was a really cool opportunity to get Billy behind the wheel and teach him how to drive the GU.
It's easy. Well, don't get too confident.
The GU sitting on the 37s, the gearing's not 100% right. He did a really, really good job keeping it going, keeping the momentum up.
Alright, you can ride the brake a little bit more.
Wasn't as bad as I thought. Yesterday I nearly blew my pants.
Nearly did move myself.
I thought he did a really good job. I can't wait to get him back out there. I just don't think a GU on 37s is going to be his first car.
I'm better than you.
Why don't you just focus on drive?
With young Billy showing us all how it's done, our last mate turned up with even less local experience.
I never been to Central West 4 Drive Park yet. I was a little bit nervous, but it's okay.
We've just woken up, we're back on the trails again. Let's go up this massive climb.
We started the day with a career track just to get the feel of everything that we're really rocky. And I kept my range as low as possible to reduce track damage.
I'm a very small person and I can't see over the bottom of the nav, which makes life a little bit hard when you don't have a spotter.
So after doing this nice little hill climb, we did one last track, which was a nice little dip and up.
Just dropping into this little creek bed, it's a little bit rough and a nice steep climb on the way out. Nothing super hard, but just a little bit of fun.
It wasn't any hard track, but it was nice and easy and just get everyone ready to go and explore.
Ooh, yeah. Give it some mood.
Let's go!
After our warm-up, we thought we've done a lot of this side of the property, but we haven't actually checked out the other side. And Jamie said to us, you'll get to this really cool horseshoe campsite on the river.
Well, Steph, Honey and I all bought our bikinis.
That'll lead off to the ride.
If I see you in a bikini, Simon, I'll be heading back to Brisbane.
Hey Baron, if I drown, you don't have my consent to give me mouth to mouth.
So we get down to the river, and it was possibly the nicest spot on the park. A nice deep swimming hole, super picturesque.
Beach day!
That was stunning, and the view is great. The water was nice and clean.
This is probably my favourite spot of the park so far. And then Cooney said, hey, this is a really cool speaker. It can actually be submerged underwater. And I thought, well, that sounds like a job for me. How do we go in? That's pretty cool.
Bit of technology like that, I didn't want to go to waste. So straight in, picked it back up for everyone and brought it back out to shore. Defender is IP67 rated, fully waterproof, fully dustproof, and floats. The back of the unit, you can use a microphone in it, you can make it PA, also karaoke. You can find out more information at ecoxgear.com.au. There was a bit of fun in the water, there was a bit of fun on the creek side, just generally having a really good time. It was an amazing place, beautiful scenery.
Honestly, this was my first time going in a river, like in a creek or anything. He can't swim! This guy's coming! Bro, it's so nice. No, I'm not getting out.
So we set up, the crew were making us some beautiful salad rolls.
And thanks to Andrew's Toowoomba, we've got this amazing fresh salami.
We had our salad rolls and we hung out for a little bit waiting for Jamie so that he could take us on this 12K convoy out to the pub.
We've been camping for a couple of nights now, and it was quite awesome that Simon decided we'll have a side trip scenery, that we're going to leave the park and go to the pub.
We're going to the pub. Who wants a beer?
That's a very, very exciting day.
I cannot wait to have a beer at the pub. So excited, let's go.
Did someone say pub? Did someone say beer?
Steph, you're sick, you can't drink.
As amped as the gang was to quench their thirst, we still had a long way to go before we got there.
Jamie's got a beautiful property, but we've hopped onto the cattle run, so a fair bit of history that's cut across and onto this now, which is a gazetted road that follows the Morrow River. Great to see water in it this time of year, and it's stunning. And the four driving's a bonus.
100%. But I wanted to ask, I didn't quite get it. So how do you access this track and is it open to the public?
So you've basically got areas of Australia that are what we call private property. They're owned by people, but the waterways through there and this track is actually a gazetted road. So 30 metres either side of the river is still classed as crowned or public land. It's a legislation, a law that not a lot of people know, but it is a law. We are legally allowed in here. It's a gazetted road, and travelling along the river here is this is an amazing part of Australia's history, so it's really good to see.
The frequent water crossings made this part of the journey the most scenic and exciting, but knowing there was a possibility of deeper water ahead, it also raised plenty of discussion about the suitability of different vehicles and drivers crossing waterways.
Water crossing is one of my first experience. Some little shallow waters, yes I had, but kind of a bit deeper close to wheel bays. That was my first time. I was a little bit scared, maybe that the water is coming in, but it was okay.
There's a lot of talk about EVs not being able to go through water crossings and that sort of thing. It's a lot easier to seal up in an electric car versus a combustion engine. The IP rating on these electric EV vehicles is watertight, so they can easily do crossings. The BYD U8 can literally float in water. We've just bought a BYD Shark, and we'll be 3D scanning and designing a whole heap of range of accessories for this great ute that's getting launched. It's a hybrid vehicle, but it's predominantly an EV. So check out our social media. You'll see us testing out this BYD Shark against our Canon Alpha. We're going to be developing parts for them.
It was a really nice drive along the river. It had a lot of history with gold mining, and you could sort of see some of the areas where they might have settled. It did look like, if you had a bit of time to spend, a perfect place to have lunch and a bit of a swimming hole on a hot day. There's a lot of wildlife creeping around.
A what? What is it? Hey guys, there's a red belly black snake swimming in the water here.
And then we got through what we thought was the last river crossing, and there was a red belly just having a swim.
Is he gonna get bitten by a snake?
And I just walked through the bush. What am I doing? I'm gonna stay in my car. I'm not getting out again.
You must be hunting in that little bank. It's super cool.
So we went through about 3 river crossings, which were only half a tyre height. Really cute, quite quaint. You know, not something a Victorian would actually call a river crossing, to be honest with you.
All right, the next one's the deep one. It's probably 100 metres away.
Dad, we're saying the next river crossing is actually a deep one.
But we'll just send one vehicle across just to check if the gate's locked or it's not.
It's public land, but it might be locked. And if it's locked, we've got to turn around and go back.
It actually did look pretty deep.
Why do a walk test when you got a Unimog?
Didn't quite realise how deep it'd actually be. The water actually came up to the tray of the tub. Once we got to the other side of the river though, there was a massive step up, and we actually had to go up it once or twice. With the front and rear lockers on in the Unimog, was the only way we were going to get through that.
This crossing is perfect for a Unimog. It's the right height, it's got the right amount of electronics, and it can do it easily. For the rest of our crew, we've got a lot of electronics on board, and I'm not going to risk any of our cars in that crossing. We'll go another way.
At that point, we all thought maybe this is a no-go. We should all just turn around and head back out the other way.
Backtracking can be frustrating, but the scenery, track, and promised treat of a beer at the end had us all eager yet relaxed. Plus, our mates in the Mog had a secret weapon for keeping their cool.
Is it hot in the Mog?
I've got aircon.
You got aircon?
Lucky me.
With the wits of my old man and me checking over everything, we managed to band together and come up with this amazing aircon system inside the cab. It can go down to as low as 6 degrees. Right now, our aircon systems are only to suit Unimogs. Due to the fact that it's such a unique vehicle, not many people have them.
So we backtracked over some of the river crossings that we'd previously gone over a couple of different ridges, and then follow a goat track down a mountain.
Big mob of goats up on the right.
Simon'd seen a track earlier that peeled off, so we decided to go for a look until we come across this giant washout.
Essentially, there was 3 lines that you could have taken: the hard, medium, and very easy.
Simon decided to go first, and he chose the medium line.
The Iveco lifted vehicle's got good approach angle, good clearance.
Heaps of wheel travel, and the front and rear lockers walked right through it.
Okay, it's fun.
You like that? Other hand. Other hand.
I think he actually could have taken on the harder track if he tried, but better safe than sorry out here. We need to be able to drive these vehicles home. My dad and myself went through the hardest line that we could possibly take.
I was looking for a challenge. Is it going to be fun?
He just went straight down into these really, really deep ruts.
It started to look like maybe he was stuck.
The Mog pretty much hit a brick wall. I thought the Unimog is not going to be the cover. With the guidance of Simon, telling us to go right hand down on the steering wheel just to give it that little bit of a bump up, we were able to get up and over that.
It was just amazing watching it just go down and then climb up before the rear had even touched the back of those ruts.
The skill and power of the Unimog, I was so impressed.
But I was up, Simon telling me to go to the boat and getting me all crossed up.
Being on the passenger side of the Mog, it was scary. I had every thought in my mind that this Mog was going to roll. But I trusted the Mog, 7.8 tonnes, and it just stuck to the ground.
Both those two had a challenge, and I was like, I want a challenge for the Tank 500. Having our front bars on our cars has given us a better approach angle.
Byron was pretty keen to show us some wheel lifts in the tank, so Simon went and put him through some pretty articulating spots and got him looking pretty cool.
Having upgraded AT tyres has helped tremendously. They have a stiffer sidewall, allowing us to form around all the rocks. And luckily we had Simon to navigate us over these washouts, so it did it with ease.
Awesome. Great job, well done.
Next up was Sammy. This is his second day four-wheel driving.
Mr. Guns, he says that, Sammy, if you don't go through this washout, you're gonna have no beer. So I love my beer, I'm a beer person. So I said, okay, I'll give it a shot. I have to be extra careful. This is my boss's car. I don't want to wreck the rear bar off.
He was driving so slowly. He was not excited to be going through this.
Oh, sorry, Rico! Oh, my heart.
Oh no, Sammy.
Oh no!
Oh no, Sammy.
What have you done? You scratched the chassis.
Simon was teasing him and really not helping the situation.
I can't. You're just being cheeky.
But Sammy was a really good sport.
Did what Mr. Guns had to say.
Just a little bit.
I just followed the exact lines.
He had a super fun time. We got that cannon into some pretty cool spots. Sammy got out, he was pretty impressed with himself after doing this obstacle. It was Tim's turn, and this trip he identified as a Unimog.
It came on a trailer, so he's got to send it.
I probably misjudged just how steep the descent in was.
Guess what? Bam!
Turns out we didn't have quite the same amount of clearance that the Unimog had.
We couldn't even access the winch. It was up against a rock wall in a rut.
Tim, tell us about your throttle settings.
Our EVC throttle controllers can be really, really simple if you just want something that you're going to plug in, don't even really need to read the instructions to get operating. Or for those who want a little bit more, we've got our EVCX, which has a few more features and allows a little bit more adjustability. They are super easy to fit. Most people will be able to do it themselves. Really, no tools are required. But if you don't feel confident, we've got shops all over Australia that would assist you with fitting.
They're not helping me right now.
Simon and Tom to the rescue.
I did a bit of a creative track build. Because of how deep the ruts were, they couldn't actually get any rocks under the tyres. Simon shoved a heap of rocks so that when he went back straight, he was actually kind of sitting on top of these rocks now.
With a little bit of persistence, we got him out of there.
After he got out of that little section, got onto a little bit of a flex course.
In the rear vision mirror, I could see the bumper just hanging off. It's copped a pretty hard time this weekend. I think we're gonna have to look for a new one when we get home.
But hey, he drove it.
Good drive.
That was a fun to watch.
Next.
Next up was myself.
Navara.
We stuck me pretty much to the easier side. To be honest, I don't know where I was. Simon was telling me where to put my wheels.
Steph drove through pretty smoothly.
She got to this little straddling, articulating track just after the little gorge, and as she was getting onto the flex, the front wheel came up that much. It caught us all by surprise, actually.
Oh, yeah.
We were having a heap of fun through there. Last up was Cooney in the Prado. It's apparently been a while since he's done any four-wheel driving, so I think he was a little bit rusty. Gave him the same line that we did the tank and the Cannon.
You know what? I didn't think Prado was making it.
Simon's spotting got them through pretty unscathed.
Good drive, Cooney. Well done.
Thank you.
Go off to the pub. Woo!
Byron, we're having an absolutely stellar drive through here. That washout back there, Sammy did an awesome job.
Good driving, Sammy. Good driving.
The scenery, that's just so beautiful.
There was kangaroos, there was horses and cows off in paddocks.
I think we're getting pretty close to this pub. It's got to be around the next corner. What do you reckon, Jamie?
It's probably 300 metres.
It reminds me of the movie Crocodile Dundee.
You definitely haven't been working because we can smell your cologne.
As we settled down for dinner, I couldn't help but think of this past season. The incredible accomplishments. The new faces.
Yes!
The fearless drivers.
Come on, Tom!
The international adventures. The new generation of off-roaders. And the great people I get to do this with.
Oh, yeah.
And not just the people around this table. Whether they were laughing
Easy peasy.
The view is spectacular.
or not,
Stop.
I'm pretty sure I popped a tyre.
That was a bit bloody violent, wasn't it?
the people were what made this season one of my favourites. Wait, why aren't the credits rolling?
What happened there?
The camera car decided to let us down.
At this end of the transfer case, the front drive shaft has a CV joint to articulate with the front diff. I don't know why, but the CV has let go. Obviously, that's why we've had no drive to the front axle the last few days. It's finally exploded. The good news is that it hasn't split the transfer case in half, so the transfer case will still be full of gear oil, and that will be fine to drive home on. Have a look at that! That's all sealed at that end. It's all sealed at this end. So we're good to drive.
Now that that's fixed, we'll see you on the next season of Life Off-Road.